How's it going, guys? RXXC here with the first of many deck profile videos for some decks that we kind of threw together to kind of try some things out. We tried to make them with a couple of different themes. So this one is going to be a monocolor all Ventus deck. I wanted to try this. This is the deck I used. We have a tournament that we're going to be showing y'all in a few days, or in the next coming days. So we made four. We made two all-color or all one-color decks, and two kind of what you would think of mixing a bunch of different colors together. We had a kind of a good mix, so I think it's going to be a good look at how the game's going to play out. And we had a lot of fun. Everything was usually pretty close. I mean, sometimes you get beat really hard, but that happens in any game. But this is my all Ventus, all green deck, focusing on Maxotaur Ultra, Trox, my guy, and a Ventus Maxotaur Ultra. So, let's set these guys off to the side. But let's have a look at it. It's my first one of these, so forgive me if they're not that great, but I'm trying to do the best I can. So, here are our guys. We're going to start with Maxotaur Ultra. 3 beat power, 5 attack power. He's my really good opener, because normally I can win a fight with him. I find with this deck that I was having to try to win the first couple of fights. So like Maxotaur here had 600 beat power. I had to win the first couple of fights because you'll see that I don't have too many 1 or 2 cost or 0 cost even cards to play to counter what's going on. So I was finding that I had to win the early fights so that I could get into the get into my cards later on in the match, so like turn 2 or 3. That sounds bad, but it ended up working out okay. So we have Maxotaur Ultra, Maxotaur Ultra, and regular Trox. Trox was always my team attacker because of this one over here. I always used him last so that I could have a pretty decent team attack coming out. Okay, so that's our characters that we're working with. We're going to go into upgrades now. I had a Hyper Maxotaur Ultra. Sadly, never got to see him come out, but I wanted this because it gets 1 attack power for each energy card you have in play, and the theme of this deck and the theme of Ventus really was generating energy as much as I could. I would end the game sometimes with 10 or 11 energy. And it you know, the whole deck revolves around that. So I have my Titan Trox. If you saw me do my openings, you knew I love this card, but the reason is if you win a fight with him, you get 2 energy off the top of your deck. When it says energize, you take energy off the top of your deck and you just place it down in your energy. So it's free energy for winning. Okay, so good card for me there. Also had a Diamond Trox regular. It's only a 3 cost, so very usable, a little bit more usable than Titan Trox, but he's in there for late game if I need him. But this boosts him up to 703, so this made Trox really good. Just the 700 wins a lot, and if you win, you energize 1 card off the top, so you can kind of see the kind of stage 1, stage 2 aspect of that there. So Diamond Trox there. Then for Maxotaur, I had 3 Titan Maxotaur Ultras. This was my biggest guy. I probably used him the most because he's so cheap for this amount of, you know, power that he has. 800 B power, wins a lot, and an 8 attack. This, you know, I know I finish the game with this guy most of the times if I can, but he was killing it. He was doing very well for me. So let's kind of push these over to the side. Maxotaur here. Maxotaur and my Trox. Okay, so moving on to the action cards. I played 3 of this, which is kind of a main engine, I would say. Turn to energy. You pay 2, but then you get to play this card down as an energy. So what you would do is you'd play your turn. Normally my second turn, I would probably have one of these in my hand. I would wait till the end after all the fighting's done if I won or lost, and then I would pay my 2 energy and I'd play this down, and it's kind of like a free energy for that turn. So I got to play 2 energy that turn. So while my next turn starts, I get to place down my 4th energy. My opponent's only putting down their 3rd. So really cool stuff going on with this card. So 3 of those. And then next we have 3 copies of Piercing Scream. Get the hex out there for you. This card is a 2 cost, minus 400 B power. It's just, you know, one of those fighting cards, and it's really cheap. So later on in the game, if I have 2 in my hand, I could take them down 800 B power if I needed to. So this was a very, very helpful card, kind of a mainstay in these Ventus decks, I think. Next, I had 2 copies of Shell Shield. I ran an all Ventus team, so having -3 attack for each green Bakugan on your team was very nice. I always had 3, so this was always, you know, -9 attack. So if they're hitting me with a 20, you know, I can play this, and then even worse, I can do another one and kind of cut down some of the work they're doing on me that I didn't like very much. So came down with that. Got 2 copies of One with Nature. I didn't play this card that much. I don't know if it's very good for what I was trying to do, but it gets rid of one of their heroes. Nobody was really playing heroes that much, so I might have to work on changing this card out, but still 2 costs, it's usable. And then 3 copies going into the 3 cost now. 3 copies of Razor Claws. This was a very good card. +2, and if I have the most energy in play, which I usually always did, it's +7 instead. So it just goes into what I was doing with creating more energy. So definitely had to play 3 of those. Okay. Here. And now a couple one-ofs. I'll just go ahead and put them all down at the same time. I had Recycling Boost, -200 B power if I have the most energy. Again, I normally always did. Return this to your hand. So it's kind of a recurring subtraction of B power. So it was a very cool card to have. It's kind of a one-of there. Sonic Howl, my 3 energy to play. +4, if it's green, I get another free energy. So again, deck's working on building energy as much as I can, but +4 attack, always nice to have. There we go. Oaken Shield. This one was really good. I need a couple more of these, but 4, and then -300 B power. And then if I have the most energy, -900 instead. So it's a really good defense mechanism there. Really like that card. All right. We got some 4 costs here. So I played 2 copies of Mulch, which energize the top card of your deck uncharged. That means that you can't use it that turn. It's not charged, it's not ready to go. But then you return this to your hand. So free energy, kind of back and forth. I didn't really get to play this one that much either. But still, I think a pretty good card. Then 3 copies of Wild Strike. This card's pretty good. 4 cost, -4 attack, and then you energize this card. Again, working with the energy. I really liked that card as well. Here. Then we have Shock and Awe, 3 copies. +4 attack, and then another Bakugan gets -3. So I would add to my attack because I was subtracting to win the fight. So this was a very good card. It's kind of a game ender a little bit because it does give you a boost and a negative boost to your opponent. So 3 copies of that for sure. And then, the special part, I had 3 Wintons, which are Bakugan Elites. I have 4 of these now, actually. But Winton's great. You normally would combo into with turn to energy to get that turn 4, or turn 3/4 energy. So I could be ahead, and then I would play my Winton. And then Winton says when you open a Bakugan, you get another energy. So you're just piling on energy with Winton. And you can play multiple at a time. I've done it before. I didn't do it in the tournament that we played, though. But then also, his secondary effect, if you have 15 or more energy cards, you permanently get 1500 B power to your Bakugan. That didn't happen often. I got close one time, but other than that doesn't happen often. But his first attack, or ability, is the best part about him. So we had 3 Winton, and he was very nice. Getting into the flip cards, Photosynthesis, just working on gaining more energy. It's a 2-cost too, so I used it a couple times. It just puts you ahead, and I had 3 copies of that. There. Repel Outsiders. You know, I'm playing green, so non-green. Always good to have these flip cards in. It's a 3-cost though. It's kind of annoying, but I was normally working with so much energy that it was okay. And then finally, well, not finally, we had Ventus Power, non-Ventus, and draw a card. So 1 more energy cost than that, but I get an extra effect out of it. I get to draw a card, so very good. Here, and then Trox's Moxie, a 1 of, because that's all I had, but 5. Energize this, and the top card of your deck uncharged, but look at the art. It's just great. I love it. I just had 1 of, and I need an extra card, so there you go. So, there you have it. That is my all-green Ventus deck. It worked out pretty well. There are some things I want to change. I'm thinking about working in some Aquas cards into this deck because they seem to flow together really well. But we're going to see how that works later. But if you have any questions, guys, leave it in the comments. And you're going to get to see this deck in action relatively soon against another deck that we made. So, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.